Hello everybody. Welcome. Welcome back to the modding bonanza, where we return once more with some map editing and BSP shenanigans. Hi there, Madam Lava. Zero is number one. Almost done with QZ streams. I imagine this might be the last one, but there could be one more after this. Not sure. Today we are here doing some map editing for Quarantine Zone. Currently I have made it to the crashed factory segment, where I'm adding in some lighting changes, a little bit of extra detail in key spots. Added these lights down here that'll illuminate these lower parts over here, which didn't have any illumination before. And adding a little bit more texture detail to the sentinel spawners here in the middle, because they're featured prominently in these encounters. Wanted to pretty them up a little bit more. I'll show you this encounter before we do any more BSP work. Show you what this encounter is all about. And we got those vents up there that I'm making use of, continuing on the mechanic of opening and closing the vents from Sacred Icon to sort of control the flow of combat forms and other nasties. And it's not light mapped at the moment, so won't be getting to see light maps on this stream, because I don't want to do light maps while I'm streaming for obvious reasons. But yeah, I have a giant to-do list of little BSP adjustments and polishing stuff here and there, like fixing bad UVs, altering a little bit of the level geometry, play better with what I intend for each encounter, stuff like that. We're not gonna add huge new areas like Sacred Icon. It's mostly just a bunch of touch-ups and alterations here and there, and all that. One such touch-up being, I believe you can see it snowing indoors here. Wait, yeah, there it is. Got a broken weather polyhedra here, so I'm gonna have to touch that up a little bit. Shouldn't be too difficult though. This level has it really bad when it comes to snowing indoors. That is probably the most unpolished part of this mission's map geometry. But yeah, how about I show you guys what this encounter is all about? The first factory encounter. Breaking Benjamin, how about breaking Nope? I ain't getting copyright claimed by you. One vanilla BSP issue was you had some Z fighting between the instance geometry and the level geometry right here, so I sorted that out. Let me open up tag test, just so you get your fill of H2R pre-release gameplay before we start on the BSP stuff. Still gonna play without light maps, unfortunately. That is loud. Let's turn that down. Alright, telefac A. These wires here are missing when the BSP transitions, so I added those in where they should be. There they are. Don't worry about the body spawning there, that's only in the test script. If I've shown off this encounter yet. Now the Enforcer is not gold, that's just the lack of light maps and the cinematic lighting I put on it. I don't know if you noticed, but I did also touch up the effects on the plasma rifles overheat.
I agree with you.
Got some enemy Marines in here.
They killed the sergeant.
See sentinels spawning out of these spawners here. Gotta chuck a grenade in to stop them. Added fancy effects for when the vents spawn them in as well. Yeah, get him. Can come over here and flip this switch to stop the flood spawning in. There we go. No more sentinels. This is on Legendary. I do need to regenerate pathfinding in this on this BSB. And then we have the Gorge that I worked on one of those streams. You've been here for it. Go off a little bit of it. I also have some optimization to do on this BSB in terms of adding a lot more visibility portals and stuff like that, because they're very scant on this BSB, strangely. Oh no! Good shot.
not like the sound of that.
That was a rock that I just got killed by the way. Get these sentinels out of here. Get you out of here. Double Juggernaut. This is I believe the second Juggernaut does not spawn on normal difficulty. That's how I have it set up.
I do not like the sound of that.
Quarantine Zone really does have a gold mine of cut dialogue that has been extremely useful and opened up a lot of creative possibilities. Get him! Got one. And that got two. Might as well finish this encounter, since we're here. This encounter is really annoying in vanilla because it just infinitely respawns sentinels above you. You just have these one squad of sentinels that fly in from above once you get to this point. Nice grenade.
Careful now.
Nice. That dude's coming in clutch. Okay. So I've already done quite a bit of BSP work on this mission so far. Show how the gondola turned out as well. I'll keep that under wraps, but that is complete and has been completely overhauled. So I can't wait to see what my lighting changes for this room is going to look like. I want the center and sides to be more brightly lit, and to have these lights down here emit a very dull orange. Keep the contrast between light and dark. I don't want the whole room to be full bright. Let's see, what's up next on the to-do then? I gotta fix the weather poly. Okay, let's see. That should just be a matter of enlarging it. Be right there. Alright, just need to grab this and probably just enlarge it, as the weather will not render inside of the weather poly. Let's just drag this up here. Okay, that should fix that. Let me test that worked. I did add a little bit more lighting, Leper. I'm gonna try to keep it similar length as the rest of my videos, 0. More marine permutations to CER? We'll see when I revisit that. Okay, make sure the snow doesn't render indoors anymore. Like we're all good? Alright, nice. Now there is some optimization I need to do on this BSP, and that is to basically divide all of these sections in this whole BSP into smaller chunks so the game can cull things out more effectively, is how I understand it. That's probably best save for off stream though, because that's a bunch of stupid bullshit that can be really annoying with portal leakages and all that. So I'm gonna save all of that for work off stream, so we're just gonna not mess with the portals too much here. One thing though is I wonder if a really easy optimization would be to make this a portal that does not render anything outside of it, similar to the grotto on Delta Halo. Let me see, let me open up materials. Portal can only be seen through in a single direction. Okay, let me open up my BSP for Delta Halo and see how that's set up. I should still have the one-way visibility portal for the grotto. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, okay. So which way does the normal need to be facing? Facing downward, okay. Okay, so I could just add that material in here. This. Alright, so one-way visibility portal, since this section is the way this section's set up is very similar to the way the grotto is set up, so I should be able to optimize it in the same way. Alright, now flip the normals on that. Okay, now let's see if that works. If this works, then I should be able to fly up in the air, and this whole section down here will be not rendered. And then when you're actually in the zone down here, then anything outside of it will not render. Luna's Blender theme? I haven't tried it. Why did some of the commands say poop? I don't know. Bungie, like, named most of the instance geometry in Quarantine Zone and Sacred Icon, like, with the prefix poop. I have no idea why. Error geometry show, just to make sure there are no leakages. Okay, so anything outside of here should not. Hey, that works. Nice. Okay, so that should be a big optimization to this area because nothing outside of it is going to be rendered. Do need to make sure that doesn't mess with the sentinel spawn up here. They spawn up high, so let me test that. Gorge, sentinel far. Spawn you guys in. Yeah, they still render just fine. Yeah, that works just fine. Okay. That should be a nice buff to this BSP's optimization. I'm not really sure if I want to touch CER's geometry that much. I consider it a complete package, as it is. excited. What is next in my notes here? I think I have in my notes that I want to put smoldering debris as cover on right side cliff where flood spawn. I think I'm talking about this. You can come up here. If you come up here, you still have cover from the enforcer. I'd place that. It's like something like right here. What instant geometry do I have to play with here? Got all these pieces of debris. Should I use this scenery object instead? There's a scenery object that's from Dig Site that I really like that would fit this purpose just fine. Debris C. Okay, yeah, that'll work just fine for cover from the enforcer if you decide to come up here. You need to make sure the flood spawns up here will not be messed up by that. What kind of pathfinding is Brute Berserk mode from Halo 2? Yeah, I do want to do something to make them more menacing a la Halo 2. In some form, yeah, Dragon Fan. We'll see. Okay, that pathfinding generates just... Make sure there are no firing points under here. Okay, adjust jump hints. Wait. Okay, flood spawns. Where are you? Gorge, flood, initial. I don't think any of them should have trouble getting past those. Yeah, that works just fine. Okay. As for if you decide to come up here, you still have cover from the enforcer's needler. What I'll do for Gravemind? Not too sure yet, but definitely gonna get the most out of our overhauled brutes. Okay, next, smoldering debris by turret to light that area up. I think I already took care of that. I put this stuff here and added a light map light here, so that should be taken care of. Smoldering debris by left side wall in front of flanking cave by exit. I think I am talking about this little place down here. I think I already did that. Yep. Okay. Smoldering debris in front of it. Exit cliffs right side to make jumping up there easier. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think that'll only involve just adding one of these. And jump off of that. Okay. Fix the black squares on the needler texture? Where is that? I think I know what you're talking about. It's been brought up before, but I'm not sure. Okay, put smoldering debris at the sniper spot that I added. I already did that. Got this little area up here lit up so it feels like a valid play space. Alright, that's all those to-dos knocked out. Okay, on to the next crashed factory. Update the mission thumbnails? Yeah, I'm gonna do custom mission thumbnails for H2R in the style of the OG Xbox release. Let me make sure the weather poly is behaving properly for this cave. Hi, my name is Lol. Making a bunch of touch-ups to the quarantine zone BSBs. Got a big to-do list of stuff. Let me make sure the weather poly for this is working properly, because it was not in the last cave. No snow indoors. No snow indoors. Okay, the weather poly here seems just fine. I have brute piloted phantoms be the blue from Halo 3 actually. The elite piloted ones in this game I left their color alone. Alright. First, light UVs by the exit are rotated incorrectly. So I'm talking about these here. Yeah. Okay. Need to fix these UVs. That's not the only one either. These instants to each other? Yes, they are. Okay. That looking consistent with the one next to it. Okay, that should work for that. Awesome, Hell Jumper. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hi there, Lion. Okay, next, block off ramp immediately leading out of second Sentinel Factory to force engaging with the encounter. I already did that with scenery. Let's see. Yeah, I already put some scenery over here to make this a little hiding spot. So you can't just gun it straight toward the exit, you have to engage with the encounter in here. So I need to add, let me see. Need to add some form of visible wall to complement the barrier there. Let me add that in. Add plane. That over here. Oops, did not want to add it to that. Add mesh plane. Size you up. Material in. Invisible. Where's my invisible material? Paired invisible. Okay. Flip you. Get you up here. Okay, and then we're just gonna create a barrier here. So you can't through the debris that I. Okay, nice and simple. Determined players will still find a way to get around that, but if you're that determined to sequence break, then by all means. Not too important. Ever since I watched Illusory Walls videos on like Dark Souls collision geometry and invisible walls, I've just been like fascinated with that element of level design. That should complement the scenery that I placed down. Because at the moment it's really easy to just jump up here and walk over it. Go to straight to the end. And then you don't get to have fun with all the ODSTs I put here. Any recommendations on who to watch? Vengeful Vadam does a good job explaining a lot of the basics of how Halo's stuff is set up. I'd recommend watching his videos. Vengeful Vadam. I'm gonna make sure this is in the armature. Also put some lights facing upward toward the vents up here so I can make them more visible since you're going to be opening and closing them. I don't know what it's going to look like yet because I have yet to run a light map test for that. Alright, next up. That's all for this room. The factory exit. Make debris in front of flood wave spawn point pathfindable. Okay. What debris am I talking about there? Oh, the flood waves. Okay, so this debris. I need to make this pathfindable. Because flood will spawn up from the vents, or the openings in the thing up there, so this needs to be pathfindable so they can find their way down. Add a plus to that. And a plus to this. Tells the game to generate pathfinding info. Alright. Hi, Texel. Alright, okay, so I overhauled this encounter to have a Juggernaut engaging a bunch of Marines on the ground, and you're able to see him from high up. But this stupid piece of debris here makes it really hard to get a good view of the environment from a vantage point up here. It just blocks your view. I believe Bungie's intention was entirely to funnel you through here and then get you to hijack this Wraith. I want that to still be possible, but I also want you to spend some time up here from this vantage point, just watching the chaos, choosing for yourself when to jump down. So I'm going to adjust this piece of debris here so it does not block as much of the action. You can see what I mean as I walk out here. You should be able to walk right up here, and there is a missing piece of scenery there. There's supposed to be scenery there. I think it's inside of the BSP. Get up. Get out of the ground. Okay, there's supposed to be sandbag walls there. Alright, so you should be able to stand here and get a view of the entire encounter without this stupid shit blocking your view. So it would be the most simple way to go about that. Probably just, let's see. See about not changing the geometry itself too much. Well, first, let me make sure this isn't instance to anything else. Alright. Let's see about just shrinking it horizontally first. Changes to the first open vehicle section where the rates appear. Not in terms of the level design or geometry. That's been untouched. Just made some touch-ups in terms of being able to pathfind on the debris. Added a couple more trees, dead trees and bushes. Some rocks in key places where you might need cover. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of everything here. Combination of everything. Shrink it down in that direction, and then I'm gonna grab these sections over here. Hey, let me mark a seam across all these so I can select this. Okay, now I want to be able to select this. Right here. There we go. Right, now we're gonna shrink that, and I need to set an anchor somewhere. 3D cursor set. 3D cursor to selected. Size that. There we go. All right. And I need to, I'm gonna shorten this. Well, segmenting it. All right, set 3D cursor. Grab these. Keep sizing it. Just select you. Actually, just gonna grab your tip here and size you like so. Okay, now you should have full view of all the action going on down here. Let's see how that looks in game. Solid Snack, there is a DLL available that you can put into your Halo 2 for both players. That'll prevent from Legendary from reverting when a player dies. So that should be compatible with H2R as well. I think I will combine all my H2R videos into one big mega episode after the project is released. Okay. There we go. Now you can actually see what's going on. Okay, let me fire up this encounter script to give that a test. Practical test. Hello, Felix.
Sorry for them.
Get fucked. Bozo. I will move this sandbag wall a little bit. Bam. Watching the carnage from afar. We get some vehicle reinforcements. This encounter is fun because I made it so if the Marines die first, then Marine reinforcements come in first, and then if the Flood get weakened first, then Flood vehicle reinforcements instead come in. Alright. That's exactly how I wanted that. Let me move all of this over a bit. Every Flood piloted vehicle, I gave like a big, conspicuous thing of Flood fog, so you'll know what vehicles are piloted by Flood. Alright, that's another to-do down. What is up with these UVs? I did not touch this part at all. Ew. Ew, let's fix that. I don't like that. Let's fix it. Ew, 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 ew. Yeah, that was not anything that I adjusted there. Ew. Ew, Bungie. Ew. Okay, that's better. This UV is also pretty messed up. Random stray triangle. Any more messed up textures on this? That's the only one, I think. Okay. I fix this. Go over. Go. Nice, that fixed it. Okay. Like a puzzle piece. All in... That texture is fine. That's on a different face. There is a random weather poly here. Great Journey double scarab battle. I want to go, definitely want to go big for that encounter because it's the last big climactic encounter of the game. Okay, what's next? Okay, moving on to Exterior B. Okay, so the fog plane here behaves kind of weird. Like, you don't even have to go that far up before it's, like, gets cold out entirely. Or at least that's how it was the last time I was here. It might not behave the same way when light maps aren't enabled, so I'll have to check on that again. I get light maps working again. Okay, bad UV on upper part of mid-bridge's entrance. Where is that? What am I talking about? Oh! Ew! This gross shit. Yeah, let's fix that. Fit that back in like a puzzle, please. Oh, this one's messed up too. Fix all of that. Okay. Now, where is this one? Way over here. There we go. Nice and easy. Any more fucked up UVs on this? Looks like we're all good there. Yeah, I have a playlist of, well, actually, YouTube has a live stream tab on my channel that you can go to access all of the VODs that I've done. Okay, what's next? Okay, add some trees or other scenery to the right side of the entrance to funnel players toward the gun tower. Okay. So, just adds a little bit of, scenery to this side over here. Question is how thick I want it to be, because you should still be able to ride through here with a Wraith. And there are important AI spawns here that need to still work. I think the gun tower already does a good job capturing your attention as you come in, but just have a little bit more scenery here regardless. should work well for that. I will need to adjust the AI that's spawn here though. Account for that. So this UV seems a little funky. Work on that. Yeah, that's disconnected for some reason. Easy fix. Not necessary at all, but I'm gonna add some bushes over to this side as well. Feels a little lonely, a little barren. What is that texture? And let's fix that too. Ew. That's not even consistent with any of the textures around here. What is this? That's supposed to be part of this? There we go. Need to have the rest of this now. Connected. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me re-import this so I can adjust the AI spawns. Consider making new boss battles for the games. Yes, I have. And I have. I did. You'll see. What changes have I made to the Regret boss fight? Yes. All of them. All the changes. I love me some dead trees. slide a pathfinding blocker in here. So AI, don't try to go through that tiny little gap. Okay, now I need to adjust all of the AI spawns that come from around this corner. Including a Wraith, Ghosts. They're already all good. Wraith is all good. Warthog. Very not good. Yeah, let's fix that. That's better. Okay, Gun Goose, spawn. Need to adjust that. Alright, that should be good. How do you decide what is balanced scale of encounter? Too many mods are made by superfans who play the game so much they don't count for average player skill. That is very true, and that is a very, very easy pitfall to fall into if you're doing anything with, like, making games. It's kind of something that you get a feel for over time, but the rule of thumb I like to go by is that if it's just right for me, then it's too hard for everyone else. And also, if it's too hard for me, then it's literally impossible for everyone else. That's generally what I try to abide by. If it's too easy for me, then it's just right for everyone else. That's something good to keep in mind starting out. Then over time, you sort of learn how to predict how the average player will see things as they play the game, and you learn how to be able to get into that mindset yourself. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, I did want to make a pretty significant change to the geometry of this section. Maybe not significant, but notable. Allow vehicles to get up and down the cliff by the exit by smoothing it out and move the frontmost boulder to a position which funnels vehicles up the hill instead of toward the exit. Okay. So, I mean by that is I want to have this not be a one-way. I wanted you to be able to go up the cliff here by smoothing this out. And also add a boulder to this side over here, so you're funneled up here. If you go here early, funnel up here instead of toward the exit. So the level circles you back around to in the direction of the gun tower if you skipped it. So let's see, we'll see how difficult that'll be. I think let's start by hide that. Start by moving this forward. Also, let me turn on the proportional editing thing. Stay smooth. Alright, yeah, start by moving this forward and also make sure the UVs don't get fucked up. And correct any UVs that I mess up later. Alright, I would like to have this slope upward. Drag that down and then drag this up. Better idea. Yeah, something like that. I need to grab these edges here and transition into a more smooth curve. Alright, now I need to make this into a functional slope. Probably would be helpful to grab all these vertices and then choose to relax the geometry. First, just get this into a more climbable ledge. Okay, that's a good starting point for that. I'd like to boost here. Okay, now let me relax the geometry here to get it looking a little smoother. See if that comes out with something good. Yeah, that works a little better. Okay, let's test that out with the vehicle and see how that feels to drive up. Adding a health bar to Halo fundamentally changes how the player perceives engagements. It forces a lot more consideration and caution coming into an encounter with how you play, depending on how much health you have. That's why I like it. Alright. Let's give that a drive test with various vehicles. That works just fine. Can I move this rock at all? A little bit? Maybe. Maybe just a little bit. I want to add another rock to the right that funnels you toward this, toward the ramp. Alright, let's try a ghost. Great. Alright, let's try Gun Goose. Okay, works just fine. Let's try a Wraith now. Nice and smooth. Okay. Perfect. Let me see if I should move this boulder at all. Just a little bit. Build a little bit more path here. Okay, now let me duplicate that boulder, put one over here, funnel players toward the ramp, if they came here first in the encounter. Okay, that feels nice and natural. Okay, still have this lip up here for a vantage point over the rest of the enemies down here. Alright. Like that a lot. Gives a nice point of circulation to this area. Problem I have with this area, vanilla geometry, is that if you come here first, you really have nowhere to go other than just skipping ahead to the next encounter. Because, like, you can't easily go back because you're being chased by a bunch of dudes, so having this loop point here does a lot to keep you engaging with this encounter without skipping ahead to the next one. We add a smaller rock to complement that one. Okay. And a bush for good measure. Okay, now I need to adjust all of the AI firing points here to accommodate the change in geometry. I would love to see how this mod, how H2R would run on an Xbox, just like out of morbid curiosity. See how loud it cries. Will the GPMG make a return in H3R? No, because that role is already filled by the variable machine gun. Same for the plasma cannon, Halo 3's version of the plasma cannon. Explosion. Okay, nice, nice. Alright, I hate the lack of light maps. This level is such a pain to look at without light maps, because everything is just full bright. I'm going snowblind. That should be all the adjustments that I have to do. Alright. Good. I need to fix these firing points as well. Okay. So I need to adjust the jump hits. Regenerate pathfinding data. For some reason, the pathfinding debug is preferring to go over that side, but this part still works. Or is this too steep? It actually might be too steep for AI to pathfind on. Let me fix that. Yeah, this angle is too steep. Okay, the AI should be able to handle that. Hi there, Patty. Okay. How you like that? Yay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now let's fix the texture. Hey, thank you, Kishan. Worked hard on that. Hi there, little dude. Everything's going smooth as butter. Okay, let's fix all of this gross nonsense. Trying to get this to unwrap in a good way. Okay, that is good. Now I just need to reconnect it to the bottom of the picture down here. All encounters done for this level? Pretty much. Pretty much. Okay, that should be about the best I can do because these parts of the geometry were never meant to be connected like this. So it just fell off my shelf. Okay, that looks good. Let me add another bush for just some garnish, you know. Gotta add a little bit of greenery in, even if it's dead and covered in snow. Alright, what's next? Okay, I need to add a rock up here because I spawned some flood up there, so we need a rock to hide those spawns. I'm gonna grab this, put it up here. Okay, now the flood can spawn behind us. Let's put a bush up here as well. Which vanilla campaign do you think does the best job rewarding exploration with resources? Halo 3 and Halo Reach are really good at that. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay. Moving on to what I have redubbed as Exterior C. This should be just considered part of Exterior B, but I consider this its own encounter, so I dub it Exterior C. Alright. Smooth out the entrance ledge so allies don't flip over coming in. Yes. Good idea. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Let's see, let's see if I can just select all of this and then choose relax. See what that gives me. Oh yeah, that definitely helps. Okay, that should be a lot kinder to your ally AI following you in. They give the randomized warthogs in it? I've not played that. You only just now found the sniper rifle? That's funny. Okay. Next, adjust geometry by crashed air vehicle. Right! I wanted to put... Instead of a crashed pelican over here, I wanted to put an albatross instead. While I'm here, let me fix these UPs. But I will need to extract the Dune map so I can get the albatross, because it is an instance geometry object, not an actual placed vehicle. There we go. Yeah, I wanted to do something with the albatross somewhere in Halo 2, and this was a good place to do so. Have a big cache of good supplies up here. And then probably add some rocks up here as well for you to jump on top of so you can get up here. Let me do that first. Grab these rocks. And I need a bigger boulder. There we go. Little staircase of rocks. Some bushes by it. Okay. Now let's see about extracting the Dune map. Tool, extract structure data. Scenarios, multi-Dune. Dune. Okay. Open up another instance of Blender. Import that. Where is my albatross? There it is. Nice, nice, nice. And grab that and all of its parts. Copy that. Get it on in here. Yeah. Thought I found use for this. Okay, let me close that. All right. I want there to be a gun goose available down here. Or up here. Just its doors here. Ooh, okay, nice. Let me make this also pathfindable, just in case. Also, let me fix all of the duplicate vertices. Fix the checkpoint system for the gondola? Yep, way more consistent than vanilla. Should also add some smokestack scenery next to this. Gonna have a bunch of goodies up here. No, we literally just extracted the albatross from one of the multiplayer maps in Halo 2. I forget the name of. Is Halo 2 my favorite? Of the Bungie games, Halo 2 is my least favorite. There it is. Oh, it's Snowblind Glory. Let me test this now. Relic, yeah. That works. What is this? Why is this texture different? I already have some stuff put up here. I'm gonna put even more stuff. How do you even get into the albatross? No way into the albatross from here unless this slides open. Very strange vehicle. Okay. Now let me figure out all of the item placements that I want to be here. God, I cannot see shit! Look, this fucking snow. I can't see where the cliff begins and the ledge ends. Hold on. Nice. Rasterizer. Bloom. Override. Can I at least disable the bloom so I can see without burning my eyes? Brightness, 0. Threshold. Also 0 for 1. It made the bloom worse. There we go. Fuck. Alright. It's a little better. All the equipment. Gun goose spawn. Move you up here. Right, nice. frame rate's at 30 frames per second because I have the cinematics turned on just so I can override the bloom values. Let's get a health pack up here. For UNSC equipment. A box of grenades. Supply capsules up here. Okay, let's get a rocket launcher in here. Delete the rocket. Place now. Sniper rifle over here for ammo. Okay. Battle rifle. There. Pistol and pistol ammo here. Health pack here. This is probably going to be dark as hell over here, so I should probably put a couple light sticks. Light stick here. And here. Okay, and then some other miscellaneous unit stuff. Generator. Base. Can rucksack. Okay. Nice little igloo we have here. Got a nice vantage point on the position over there. Okay. Let me add some smoke to it now. Barring any geo from any MP maps? Unlikely, but you never know. Having zealots used in Sacred Iconic Warning Zone, it's kind of hard to do that for allies because the focus is on your Spec Ops allies and Spec Ops commander. Smoke thin, medium. Let me get the large variant of that in here. Oh, thin, large, thick, large. Go with this. By its thrusters. Alright, let's have some sparks coming out of its thrusters as well. You also adjust the geometry of the ground here so it's easier to walk up. Oh. Okay, and then I'll do stuff like destruction decals at the very, very end of. What do I do in my free time? Play lots of video games. Make burritos, you know. I like that a lot. Oh, I need to close my vent. Hold. Hold. February 2026 release? I'm not thinking of any release date in particular. Okay, next up. Add a rock on clearing left of entrance to create small loop point with cover. Okay. Talking about this section over here. Okay, so a rock to take cover behind, basically. What map is the Albatross found on in Halo 3? Sand Trap? Okay, just a little rock for cover. And a smaller one next to it. Every rock can use a little friend. Okay. Next, put low lights dotting the inside of the key entrance building to make it visually pop more. Low lights dotting the outside of the key entrance. Okay, so I think I'm talking about these along here. Okay, so lights dotting around the outside of this building. So your attention is drawn to it, or okay. Be easy. Just grab this. Duplicate that. Down here, rotate you. $90. Bring you down here. You a little bit. Okay, let's place these around the building. Oh, you know what might actually look cool, even cooler, is if I put the lights on the floor so it casts a light up here, up the wall. I believe the wall-bound lights are already being accomplished by the ones overhead. do this, I should probably make these double-sided so they light up both sides. Light bands, render only, double-sided. No shadow. Do you still carry over weapons? Yes. Just trying to make the building more visually prominent in the scene. All right. Now I want some similar lights over here because it is dark as hell and you can't see shit in these corners over here. Need to be able to come over here for cover and also see the flood that are coming out of the vents. Put those against the back wall. Fucked up UVs again. How would I fix that? Yeah, that should fix it. Gotta make sure they're a certain distance away from the wall, otherwise Halo 2 will freak out, start some Z fighting. Hi, Walkings. I could use Snap to Face, but I need to align them away from the wall anyway. Okay, and then I also wanted to put lights like this by the entrance itself. Could get fancy with this one and have these be floor-bound lights, so it lights up the walls next to it. Have these be in the geometry itself. We just got done adding the albatross, a crashed albatross to this section, Walkings. By where the crashed pelican usually is. That should cast a nice spooky light onto the floor. On either side of the door. Let me move some of the stuff here so they don't get in the way of the lights. Also added these symbols above the door, make it pop out even more. Okay. That's all for here. Oh, wait. Bad UVs on sides of lights at the key entrance. So that's here. Let me fix those. All right. These are messed up too. Okay, and then, oh, good. Okay, so we're done with this BSP. Let me import this. So for the next BSP, I have to fix the snowing indoors, which should be really easy. Did I not export it? Well, they got some open edges. Yeah, Bungie has the prefix poop for a lot of the instant geometry on this mission in Sacred Icon. I have no idea why. I remember the sharps. Oops, I used the alpha version instead of the solid version. Non-uniform scale. Okay, nice. Excited to see how that'll look on this light map. Why am I getting this stupid insertion? Yeah, I definitely gotta chop these portals up into much smaller chunks, because these are really, really huge. Like, portions of the game that it has to render. Okay. Now on to the next BSP. So the reason this would be snowing indoors, I would guess, is because it's completely lacking a weather poly. Let's see. Portal. Seam sealer. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a weather poly here at all. So let's fix that. Okay, add mesh cube. Plus weather occluder. Plus weather poly for material. Okay, what side do the normals have to be facing? Blue side on the side that you do not want. Okay, so flip the normals on these. Alright. Size this up to this whole room. And then if there's no weather poly here, then I'm gonna need to add another one to the interior over here. Duplicate that, drag it over here. Encompass the entirety of this tunnel. Okay, let's see what the game thinks about that. The BSB is very sparse on instance geometry, so it imports very quickly. Right, snow. Winter Wonderland, but not indoors because that doesn't make sense. Still snowing indoors. It might have made it too big. Is it working for in here though? I think it is working for the interior. Okay, so this weather poly is working, but the other one is not for some reason. Is it because its normals are facing the wrong way? No, its normals should be facing the right way. God damn it. Try making it smaller. Oh my god, what do you want from me? What if I try copying the weather poly that does work? God damn it. Must be something funky to do with the glass. The weather poly does not work when I come over here either. It does work in the interior for some. Try flipping the normals. Might not help that it's going through the sky. Oh, did that work? Did I just have the normals the wrong way around? Weird. Hooray! No more inclement weather. That's such a silly goof. Lovely. Okay, I think that'll do it for today's stream. closing in on the end of this mission. After the BSP stuff, I have to relight everything, and then I'm gonna get to a decoration pass, including flock battles, cool things flying in the sky, stuff like that. So yeah. Nice. Look forward to Grave Mines starting not so distant future, after I get the video out, of course. But yeah, thank you everybody. I got a Patreon if you want to keep this project pumping along. I always appreciate it. But I'll see you next week if I have content to stream.